confidence is something that I think all of us struggle with so much throughout our lives, and it's sometimes the thing that holds us back the most. And we think, "Ah, if only I was more confident, then I could do that thing that I really want to do. I could go after my kind of dreams, or start that business, or post more on Instagram, or like find my life partner, or find a romantic partner, or have more friends." Like, all of it really boils down to confidence and self-belief. So in this video, I wanted to share a bit of my own journey with confidence, from being deeply insecure and really hating myself to, no, just joking. I am a lot more confident now, but I was young and I was insecure and I hid myself. And with a lot of work, I'm older and I'm insecure. No, I'm joking. But it's also something that you don't just wake up with it the next day. But now I am a lot more confident. I have wonderful friends around me, and I used to be so insecure for female friendships. I have a wonderful partner. I'm self-employed. I've been doing what I love for a living for like 5 years. I have my own business, coaching other women on how to be more confident. I've performed in loads of incredible places. I've had art commissions. I've just done a lot of things that I really wanted to do and that really used to scare me. And it's really beautiful to see how far I've come. And you can do this too. Like, anyone can do this. So I just wanted to share a bit of my journey and the things that I started doing to become more confident as someone that was insecure as fuck. So yeah. Okay, so let's jump right in there. The biggest thing I would say that helps your confidence is being kind. Now, this might seem like a funny one because it's not something that it's like you're doing to yourself, if that makes sense. But I think confidence is an energy, and there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. And we're talking about confidence here, we're not talking about arrogance. Arrogance, I think, almost comes from people that have low self-esteem, and they want to prove that they're better than everyone by putting other people down, and that's very different than confidence. Confidence is about celebrating other people and yourself. And I think when we really tune into being kind and celebrating others, the more that we can be kind and celebrate ourselves. So even when I felt deeply insecure, um, I really started focusing on being kind and treating other people how I wanted to be treated. And even though when I was younger, I was bullied so much, I was called ugly, and like they would disinfect the things that the stationery I used to use in class, and they'd be so horrible. I think that gave me this real want to be kind to others and not to exclude others. As a kid, I used to love including people. And so as an adult, once I left school, I was like, I just want to be the kindest version that I can be. I think school can be quite bitchy. And to just really celebrate others, to try and be the best sister, the best daughter that I can be, to smile at people and to listen and to really see the good in people as much as I could, and to really encourage people, because that makes you feel good about yourself, because you're bringing this good energy, and you're making a difference to someone's day, even in a small amount. And I think now, whenever I get insecure, whenever I feel like I put on weight, or I'm like, oh, I'm behind in life, I just remind myself that I'm a good person and I've got a good heart, and that always anchors me down to myself, because there's no point focusing on all of these achievements if you don't feel like you're a good person, because then you'll just be, it's like, that story of the hungry ghosts who can never, I think they've got really long necks and really big bellies or something like that, but the moral is they're never full. And if you don't feel like you're a good person, and if you don't have this foundational kind of respect for yourself, then even if you achieve all of these things, even if you have this great body, you might not have a real level of confidence. So that would be my first thing. So I'm going to put an exercise up here for you to do, to just kind of reflect on being more kind, and to go away and do, and to reflect on, so that we can really bring that kindness into the world. So number 2 is being kind to ourselves. And this can be so fucking hard. When I was younger, I used to like hate myself and be so insecure. And sometimes I remember my mom said, like, just focus on liking yourself if you can't love yourself. This can feel really hard. And that's why I wanted to start with being kind to others, because when we are insecure as fuck, like, being kind to ourselves is really hard. Usually when we're insecure, there is things that we really don't like about ourselves. And I think about confidence as like working from inside out. You know, we're insecure because for me, it was like I didn't like, I felt ugly, I felt fat. I used to think I was just so ugly and I was like unlovable and all of this kind of stuff. And I had all of this body dysmorphia. And so rather than focusing on, you know, the external, I think going deeper into who you are as a person. And if you're not ready to be kind to yourself yet, that's why being kind to others and treating other people how you'd like to be treated helps you know that you've got a good heart. And then that's a really good practice for then using that same compassion that you give to others to give to yourself, and to just be a bit more gentle on yourself. And so being kind to ourselves, just as I said, that confidence is not arrogance of like thinking you're the best. Confidence, I think, it's about accepting your flaws, knowing that you have your flaws, and just learning to accept them. And you don't have to accept them, but just accepting where you are right now and not trying to like hide all your flaws, to just be like, I know that I have this, this, and this, or like, you know, I'm not the weight that I want, or I'm a little bit, I don't know, sometimes like I talk too much, or I do this, or I do that, or sometimes I'm a bit silly, or I don't know, just kind of like taking the pressure off being perfect. Like, no one is perfect and we're all human. And yeah, just kind of accepting that we're flawed people, and to just be kind to ourselves and not take ourselves so seriously would be a big one as well, of just being able to laugh at ourselves. I remember I used to like, everything felt so tight and constricted because I wanted to be so perfect. And having a younger brother really helped, because he just takes the mick out of my biggest insecurities. And it used to feel like, oh my God, someone else thinks that about me too. But the more I just laugh at like the things that he takes the mick out of me for, it's like, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. That doesn't mean that I'm unlovable. It just means that I have these like quirks, you know? Think of your friends, they might have like these silly little things, or maybe these things that aren't, I don't know, conventionally attractive. Maybe they've got really cute teeth in a certain way when they smile, or they've got a certain goosebump, or like my mum had really bushy eyebrows, and all of these all these things that, you know, aren't conventionally attractive, maybe because we've been so stereotyped, but that's part of who they are, and that's why we love them. And start thinking about that with yourself, you know, these little things that you have that you maybe are so hung up on, they're just your little quirks. And giving them love, and to just not take ourselves so seriously. I think that should be a whole other one, actually. So just being kind to ourselves. I'm going to give a little exercise on just some things to think about, and to bring more kindness into our lives, and bring more kindness into our relationship with ourselves, because that is what builds confidence. Because it's not so much about external validation and wanting other people to validate us and then we feel confident. It's about giving that validation to ourselves, about being confident even if someone else says this and that about you, or this confidence that we build up within ourselves, this bank of confidence. So we're not, swayed so much about what other people think, because, at the end of the day, you can't control what other people think. And there's that quote saying, what other people think of you is none of your business. The most important thing is what you think about yourself. And just being your own little cheerleader. You can either be your own worst enemy or your inner cheerleader, that voice in your head. So I'm going to put an exercise to just help bring more kindness and compassion into the relationship that we have with ourselves. Okay, so the other one, now I wasn't actually going to add this in, but going on from the point before, I think to not take ourselves so fucking seriously. I think that's what brings confidence, is to firstly just laughing. Or sometimes when I've done something and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cringe, that's so embarrassing, just laughing, it's not that serious. And actually just smiling and laughing really lifts that energy of embarrassment and cringe. And to spend more time around people that don't take themselves so seriously, that accept themselves kind of as they are. Because I don't know if you've ever been around someone that's really deeply insecure, and it's, oh my god, it's quite draining, because everything feels very quite tense, and it's really relaxing. My mum also said everyone loves being around people that love themselves, because it's just this expansive energy. It's not about being perfect, it's about just kind of not taking yourself so seriously, not taking things so personally. That's something that I really struggle with, but I'm working on it. And not getting offended so often. And so just allow yourself to be silly, allow yourself to kind of have banter with your friends and take the mick out of yourself, and do things that maybe make you look a bit silly, and just be able to to look back and laugh. That would be, I think, a big one. So if you've got a younger brother or a friend that
Yo, hook her up on YouTube.
is someone that kind of
She's so
rips into
goaded. She'll
people,
really
or
change your life, man.
takes the mick out of people, hang out with those people more. Get used to that, and realize that it's not the biggest deal. We don't have to take ourselves so seriously. And I think that will lighten up all of this tension around wanting to be perfect. So yeah, I'll put an exercise here as well for not taking yourself so seriously. The next thing that I would say is doing things that you're scared of. This is the best way to build confidence. It's funny, I actually feel I think Wayne Dyer talked about this, and when I started to feel like there was something that I was scared of, I'd lean into it. I would push myself there. Whether that was I started teaching aerial when I was 21. I was really scared about leading a whole class, but I did it. I showed up, and that's really helped me with talking and public speaking, and now teaching, which is what I do now predominantly with women. And being able to talk to a class really helped with my confidence. So really think about what is something that you're scared of, and you don't have to go full bam and traumatize yourself if it's something you're really scared of, but gently work your way up. Say if you're really scared of public speaking, maybe it could be speaking up more in your work and giving suggestions around maybe people you're more confident with. And then it could be, I don't know, posting a video online. And then you could slowly work your way up to, sharing a talking video, even if it's a voiceover, or making a YouTube video, because chances are not many people will see it anyway. Or leading something, at work, or something where you have to talk to quite a few people, and slowly building up. It could even be striking up more conversations with people that you don't know. So think about something that you're scared of, and what are turn it into smaller achievable steps, And that is something that is so good because it builds that confidence. Doing that thing that you're scared of, even with my students, like some of them were really scared about posting on social media. And it's good to ask like why, because it's not just posting, it's like coming from, oh, maybe there's this fear of rejection, this fear of being cringe, this fear of being exiled. And a lot of the time we have this fear and we're so scared of the fear that we want to do like anything to avoid it. But when we actually like face that fear and like get specific and ask questions of why we have this fear, a lot of the time we realize that it's like way blown out of proportion. Just as I was saying, like a student was really nervous about posting online and kind of asked why, and she's like, oh, it's that fear of being rejected or exiled. And it's like, no one's going to exile you for posting. And actually, the more that you post authentically online, people will really celebrate that. And then, my students that were scared of posting, they started posting online, and then they get that really positive feedback and they're like, oh, this is really exciting, and it shifts. Whereas if you never do the thing that you're scared of, it's always going to be looming over you and it becomes way bigger. So I'd say that is one of the biggest things to help with confidence, is just doing the things that you're scared of, doing the things that you find hard. Okay, so the next one would be building a skill or a talent. And I think this is really important because we've kind of done more of like the inner foundational work and building that relationship with ourselves and our self-talk. And now it comes to the more external things, our achievements and our talents and things like that. But I think it's really important to kind of build that inner relationship that aren't based off of those things. But then now building a skill or a talent, something that you invest in and something that you love doing, not for other people, something that you really love. I started doing aerial when I was 19. I always loved gymnastics and I just felt like the gym was not hitting the same. So I started doing aerial, and oh my God, actually, like that has boosted my confidence so much, because I started over the last few years, like I've got so much better at my practice. I think also being disciplined and showing up and investing time into building something that you're proud of just makes you, it makes you feel proud of yourself. Like it's actually, you can see the tangible results of the energy that you're putting in and then what you're seeing. So that can really help with your confidence. And yeah, it can be a skill, it can be getting better at something, it can be like a hobby, it can be, artistic or sporty, or even, learning bloody coding or something, I don't know, whatever you want it to be, but learning something that you feel you're proud of. And then also you can attract so many amazing connections, like the aerial community that we have. It's so wonderful because all these women of all different ages and levels and sizes, they all come and they've all got so much better at aerial, and it's just such a supportive community where we all like celebrate each other. And so building a skill, and then you can meet a lot more people who really love that skill. And I think being around other people that support you really builds that confidence. And it's also really helped me with my friendships and the connections that I have, because you open the door to so many more connections. And I used to be really insecure with female friendships. My mum would be like, Tallulah, why don't you invite girls around? And I was like, no, I'm just too shy. And I literally never invited any girls around, very much as a teenager. Whereas like all of the work that I do is around women and working with women, and I'm just so not shy anymore. I used to be so shy to hang out with girls one-on-one or reach out to girls, whereas also having something that you're doing, like, oh, do you want to train together? Or like, oh, do you want to do this photo shoot together? Or like, let's do an art night. Like doing something that there's a shared interest, it makes you feel so much more confident to reach out to someone, and you're like proud of, oh, this is what I've created, or this is what I'm into. So I'll put a little exercise here on ways to kind of build a skill or a talent, or find things that you're interested in, and yeah, some kind of steps that you can take around this to build your confidence. So the last thing that I would say, I was going to say actions over affirmations, but I do actually think that them both going hand in hand does really work. But I think affirmations on their own, I'm really learning like they don't work. You've got to put in the work and then also kind of speak it into existence. But for example, if you want to get more fit and healthy, and saying like, I am fit and I'm healthy, and then you're like not going to the gym and eating so much rubbish and loads of junk food, it's going to feel really inauthentic and really cringy and really, it's not going to feel right. But if you are speaking it into existence and saying it at the same time, you're doing all of the actions. You're keeping your word to yourself, you're eating healthy, you're meal prepping, you're still having your sweet treat, but like more of a healthy version, and having more balance. And then you're saying these positive affirmations of I'm healthy, I'm disciplined. Then it feels real. And I feel like then you're having like a whole identity shift because you're doing the actions and you're saying these positive affirmations. But I think it's important that you can't just kind of say these affirmations and not do, shit all and just expect to become this new version of yourself. So I think it's really important to do the mindset work and then like the practical, actionable steps. So yeah, I'd say actions and affirmations. So everything that we've talked about in this video, all of the actions, um, and then saying affirmations every day of something that you want to become. Who do you want to be? Like, I am more confident. I'm learning to be more confident. And I think like saying that kind of stuff before you're doing something that you're scared of. For example, if one of the doing things you're scared of challenges for you is posting something online, because that for a lot of people is really scary, opening yourself up to being seen and perceived. Saying affirmations before you record a video or saying affirmations before you post it helps to like soothe ourselves when we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. So yeah, I hope that you like this video, and sorry, I always feel so cringy finishing off a YouTube video, but I hope it resonated, or I hope it inspired some people. And I really love giving like inspiration, but then with like practical steps. That's what I really love doing, because I feel like that's when we actually see progress and we start to actually make a shift happen. Because I really believe that we have all of the power within ourselves to change our lives, to become the person we want. And we can reinvent ourselves any day. And that's incredibility. That is incredible that we have the ability, is what I was meant to say, to be able to do that, to reinvent ourselves, to recreate ourselves, to change our lives. And it all comes from within you taking the action and taking those little steps. Think about in a year's time, if you start implementing these things and working on these things, how much more confident you will be. So yeah, I'm just going to share little stories and things that I've learned from my own journey around confidence and kind of having my own business and being self-employed and following my passions. And just, yeah, I feel like I'm passionate about how all of these things are so interlinked, like our mindset and our health and our mental health and our confidence and pursuing our business. I find it also interesting and fascinating, and I really want to share more on this channel just about growth and mindset, and then practical steps to create the life that we want, especially if you feel like life has been fucking hard and you just want to try to create a life that you really love. So I just want to share more of that because that's what I'm really passionate about, and hopefully create a little community where we can all support each other on this life journey together. So if that's something that you're interested in, then please do subscribe and comment if there's anything that you really felt in this video, something that you really struggle with, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, I really need to do that, or something that really spoke to you. Until the next one. I just finished. Sorry, guys. I hope you liked this video, and then I didn't know what to say. I think I waffled a bit, and I think I said some things that were a bit stupid, but I was just fine, like, just do it. So what? So what? That's like the whole point, isn't it? Yeah.